most people know you for Trey Songz.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Songz being one of R&B's most prolific R&B artists, definitely of the last, since like the mid 2000s up to now. Highly respected artist, singer, rapper, just overall talent. So how that relationship start? How that come to be?
So now let's go back to Charles, my ex-partner. At the time, he ironically went to high school with Trey's stepdad.
Gotcha.
And so because of that, of course, Kenny knew that Charles was, in the music business.
Sure.
And at this point, we had been in it for like 12 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And he wanted him, my son wants to sing. He raps. He said he wants to sing. I don't know. I just wanted to hit you up, see what you think. And so Charles was more the business side. So his whole thing was, send him to Troy. But he'd never done that. So by this time, Charles just hit me, man. Could you just listen to Kenny's son, man? Just listen to him, let him sing for you, whatever. So I could tell Kenny what I think.
Sure.
And so I said, all right, just have him come over. And so Trey came over, and he was 15. It was 2001. He was 15, and he came over, and he sang for me. And he sang Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be.
Okay.
And so for a kid who really raps but wants to sing, he doesn't know anything about nothing. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He just in high school.
He got some talent. And
running around singing, and girls like it, whatever.
Yeah.
He stayed in key. He sang it the way it goes. And his tone. He had a tone, like a certain tone that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And then he had this thing in his eyes. Pause. He had this thing in his eyes that was like, little kid, he's kind of tall, but he had an
it thing. Yeah.
And so I said, oh, so you write? He's like, yeah, no, I do. And so he pulled this piece of paper out, and I'm watching him. He pulls a piece of paper out, and he's singing this song that he wrote a cappella.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, he has a verse, he has a chorus. He don't know this. He just
wrote some stuff.
Doing what he, mimicking.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, come over here. Because he was at my house when we was in the basement. So I told him to sing the hook. And he's like, sing the chorus. He's like,
what part of the chorus? Like,
yeah, you don't know. I'm like, wait, okay. That part right there.
Yeah.
Keep singing that part.
Yeah.
So while he was singing it, I was finding the chords out and see what chords go with it. So I put the whole track there while he was sitting there. He had never seen that happen before. So I said, pull the seat up. And I said, put the headphones on you and take one off right here, just a little bit, so you can hear what's going on.
Yeah.
And when I point to you, I want you to sing. Now he knows what the hook is. So. And so he sings it. And he sings, pretty much along how it was going to be, because he watched me make the track. He
understands the melody, what's happening.
He already knew what was going on. So I said, okay, that was good. I said, okay, so now I'm going to give you a harmony note. And he's like,
what's that?
I'm like, harmony, like, when someone harmonizes.
Wow.
Okay, all right. In church, you have the soprano, alto. Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
He was that rough.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Super.
I love this.
So he just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
And so I said, I'm going to give you a note. Now, the note, the test was, and you know this test, you give somebody a note, and y'all are supposed to be harmonizing, and they keep getting down to your note. That says a lot for their ear. Like, see, you on my note. Get off my note.
That's
like,
right.
You know what I mean? So I gave him a note to sing along with the melody that he laid down. And he kept that note the whole time. So I was like, ooh. Okay. All right. He didn't know. He didn't know that he was so, like, that was a test that most people don't. Because they can't remember the note.
Sure.
And then they keep going down to the other one.
That's
because
right.
They hear
they
it.
keep jumping back to the melody or whatever. Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to give you another one. Gave him another note. And he killed it. I'm like, Okay. So we finished the song. I gave him little ad libs. I filled in the harmonies and stuff and built it. I made it bigger and put it on the CD. And that was August 2001. And he was about to go back to school. He lived in Virginia. So he went back to school, went back to Virginia, went back to school. And his mom called me super excited. Like, what do I need to do to keep him going?
Yeah.
He wants to really do this. He had a great time. Da, da, da. So I was like, well, give him a SkyTel pager so that we can keep in touch. Cause that's for sure.
And
so he's the only one in high school with a SkyTel pager keeping in touch with his producer.
Yeah.
So he's stunting, super stunting by this point.
Yeah.
So every break, and he breaks, spring breaks, summer breaks, not summer breaks, but winter breaks. He would come back to New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey. Stay with his stepdad, who lived 8 minutes away from me.
Gotcha.
And he would come over and he would just follow me everywhere, wherever sessions I'm going to, until the summer. And in the summer, he spent the whole summer in Jersey, but with me.
Yeah.
And so by this point, he goes back to school for senior year. He graduates, and his mom gives him a year to apply to the music. If it don't work, you go to get a job, go to school, or both.
Yeah.
She was dead serious about that. So that's when everything, but ironically, so that's August 2001. He comes back around the holiday time. During this course of the time, I'm about to leave characters. I'm about to make the big step out on my own. So he gets caught in the middle. Because remember, I met him because of...
That's right, because of Charles.
So I'm loyal.
Yeah. So
I was like, bro, I met you because of him, so you might want to just stay. We can still work together, but I don't know what I'm doing. Sure. I don't know I don't nothing about what I'm doing. I don't know who I'm gonna what's
gonna happen. Sure.
Yeah, I didn't have songbook then.
Yeah.
So I didn't want him to feel like he's waiting on me for anything.
That's right.
So I told him, you stay with Charles, and we can still work together, but I just don't know what I'm doing yet. So by 2002, I started on my own. And so Charles had given him, made a deal with him and said, you do 60 songs and I'll start shopping you a deal. By this point, he was 16. So, but he hadn't finished learning.
Sure.
And Charles is the business side, so he really wasn't going to,
develop it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, long story short of all of that, I was in the studio, ironically, with Carl Thomas in the Electric Lady studio in New York. And when you go down, you lose all signal. And so when I came up later on that evening after he was done, all my messages came in, and it was Trey leaving me a bunch of messages like to call me, yo, call me. So I called him, like, what's going on? It's like, yo, Charles kicked me out of the studio. He said I can't work there no more. I was like, what you mean? What happened? I did like 60 something. I forget the number he said. So he said, if I do something,
start shopping.
So I guess he got mad because I don't come in that much anymore, because Trey had stopped coming in as much. Yeah. And he would stay with me. And I never actually asked Charles his side of the story of it. But from what I've heard, he didn't think Trey was serious. And so he was teaching Trey a lesson. If this is what you say you want, you need to be here. And Trey's like,
I'm here.
I did 60 songs. Ain't nobody working with me when I come in.
Right.
You said to do 60 songs, and I did 60 such and such.
Yeah.
And so I was just not coming in that much, but he was spending more time with me. So,
sure.
But Trey was laughing the whole time because he thought it was just like great.
Yeah.
Because his mind is, now I can stay with you.
That's right.
I don't got to go in. Yeah. It's like, okay, all right, Trey. All right. So basically what I realized at that transitional time for me, because I was in the studio, because I was behind the scenes, I forgot that I know everybody Charles knows. You know what I mean? Like everyone he knows. He's just the business.
That's right.
I'm like, And ironically, around that time, music industry wise, the transition was starting where everyone wanted to deal with the producer now. Mm-hmm. You know, we were in the area of the manager. That's right. Now it's like, can I talk to the producer? I want to talk to the producer
directly.
So it just, and then Pro Tools was just starting too.
I remember this.
So all of that happened around that time, and so
this is 02.
This is 02.
I remember Avid. It was Avid at the time, right? Okay.
No, it was Pro Tools.
It was Pro Tools, and
Avid
then
hadn't taken over.
Not yet. So this is when the DigiDesign.
It was DigiDesign Pro Tools 4. That was my first.
Okay, I remember. Okay.
So and me and Trey literally learned Pro Tools together.
Nice.
Like we literally learned it, but that's what ended up happening, and I just felt like, I know everybody he knows. I can do this. So I put together a 10-song demo for Trey, and my manager at the time, Delonte Murphy, I gave it to him to shop. He started shopping it around, and that's how it happened.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I remember, so when his first album came out, I can't remember what year, but I remember there's like, it's a new surgence of new guys. Neo is now like the guy.
Neo, yep.
You know, Mario is starting to, we already knew Mario a little bit, but now he's really coming to another level in his own career. Chris is like the young prince of the game at this point. Of course, Usher is like at the top in that arc, the top of that arc. And, I could always, when Trey Songz, his first projects was coming out, I could hear he was a very passionate singer. I wasn't as big a fan yet, but I'm like, because again, I'm an artist too. I'm looking at all these guys like they're younger than me, and I'm like, I'm looking at them like, okay, I see what they're doing, you know. But I can hear and feel his passion. It wasn't until I want to say, I'm ready. Yeah, that just brings me to this album right here.
Oh wow.
This album.
No, you don't got that.
Listen.
I don't even got that.
This album right here is when I became an official Trey Songz fan. Again, before I'm listening to everybody who's making music. So, you have Neo is popping. Chris Brown popping. Mario is popping. Trey Songz comes. There's a few other guys. And Trey Songz comes, and around that 08, 09 run timeline, he became kind of like it was like a lull for, everybody else was kind of down, I guess, at that time. And then Trey just come out swinging on that album. And he just wasn't missing. So it seemed like for about 2 years, 3 years, he seemed to be, when I'm ranking, not ranking in terms of best, but I'm ranking in terms of like popularity, Trey was just that guy. Like,
I mean, it was a journey, because when Trey came out, the album was actually 2 years old, because it sat. And so a lot of the songs seemed dated, but it was popping when we did it.
That's right.
We didn't know we were going to be 2 years before people hear Gotta Go. I did Gotta Go the same time as Alicia Keys' You Don't Know My Name. That's what inspired me. Wow. So if you're a DJ, you can mix the two right together. But by the time people will hear Gotta Go, You Don't Know My Name is 2 years old. Kanye had switched up the sampling thing, so the sampling thing was, so by the time Gotta Make It came out, it was like, and then it's like, oh, we're not doing that. And it was like, so it was kind of dated, and I was pissed because the label just took too long, and they didn't understand. They didn't understand who Trey was.
Right.
So the first album, second album got some momentum. We did Can't Help But Wait and Last Time.
That's right. Yeah.
But it wasn't until the third album where, because the first and second album kept us in the red.
Sure.
That they're like, if you don't make this happen, then you're gonna get dropped. So they kind of backed off, which is what we wanted anyway.
Sure.
All along. When they backed off, we just super went into, and we put out Anticipation. There was a mixtape that we put out. That mixtape started it, because it not only started Trey as a serious artist in his sound, it started off, no one was doing mixtapes as an R&B artist.
Yeah.
It was all hip hop.
That's right.
You do a mixtape. And so that became a thing that would circulate in the colleges.
Yep.
The CD would be in the sneaker store, like on the table.
That's right.
Would be in the thing when you're purchasing. And we leaked that out and put that out super against the label, but we didn't care at this point because it's like, oh, if we're gonna do this, we might as well go out. Can we talk? Oh, can we talk?